Welcome to episode 14 of Psycho Pass. Last time we came back to the present to check on Akane and Ginoza and everybody, get up to speed on the Makishima investigation, and I can't wait to see where it's going to go. So we're going to watch and discuss. Got the subtitles and timer on screen if you want to follow along that way, or you can pull up the episode on the side. But either way, let's get into it. Starting after any logos, let's go in 3, 2, 1. Play. Alright, starting in the middle of the city, what do we got going on? Who is this guy? What the hell is happening behind the counter there? Someone in a mask. I like the little hologram nurse girls. Light pink. Very low. Who is this exactly? They certainly don't know. Here for some medicine? Okay. Looking for something very specific there. He was able to just walk. Oh, damn! Holy shit. Rather than assuming that he's just like another Makishima type, I'm assuming the mask somehow tricks the scanner, and the mask made it seem like his psychopath was okay. Well, shit. The mask is definitely from Makishima, though. So yeah, okay, we've got some new case going on here, with some new element being introduced surrounding drugs. So let's see how that goes. Pretty cool opening. That dude got fucked. While the OP is playing, though, let me say that if you enjoy these videos, subscribe to the channel. Psycho Pass comes out every Wednesday, with other videos every single day of the week. Also, check out the description down below for Twitter and Discord links if you want to go there, and Patreon, where you can support this channel. Get these videos very early, vote for which shows I watch, get exclusive vlogs, and all that stuff. Thank you so much. We had Masaoka confirmed as Ginoza's father last time. Some good scenes with the old woman lady. I don't know if she's been named yet, but you know the one. Sweet Poison is the episode title. So yeah, this place is closed off, obviously. Let's see how they handle this. The Dominators. Yeah, that was the last time she held one, tried to use it. Snap out of it. Although, if you point it at this guy, it's going to be the same thing because of that thing that he's wearing. So that's bad. He's like Magneto's helmet, trying to protect him from Professor X and whatnot. Okay, I was thinking maybe the guy was still going to be here and we were going to have like a hostage situation or something. But no, he's already gone. And he left. So yeah, you can just come back there if your coefficient is low enough. You don't need like authorization to work there or anything, or be anyone specific. If your hue is good enough, you can just walk through the door. Because if your hue is clear, then there should be no problem, right? I don't think he can. I think it's the mask, but yep. Helmet. Well, shit. That kind of fucks over everything, doesn't it? No, I don't think so. I think that was all him. But I think he's now using this to show some more of the issues with the system and making more people be like him. Yeah, it didn't just block it, it tricked it. Yeah. It detected a wrong psychopath. How did it do that? Yeah, exactly. And he's showing the issue with that. Their psychopath was read as being good. So you just let them walk in. That's right. That's the sole criteria. Yep. I mean, just put a lock on the door. What even is the reason not to? Why allow that? Why make it so that anybody, literally, like, random people who don't need to be back there, don't need to be back there. So why make it so that somebody with a good psychopath can just walk through that door? Yeah, technically, as it's supposed to work, they won't cause any harm because their psychopath is clear. But why allow it? Just have a lock on the door. Just have the employees have keys or ID the way we do it now. Shit! He's just gonna kill people in the middle of the street. Just because you can do this shit with the psychopath. Oh my god! Oh my god! He's not even hitting her like in the head and killing her quickly. He's fucking torturing her. And nobody knows how to... Nobody... Oh my god! Holy shit, this is fucked. Oh my god. Anyway, like, yeah, just because you can do the psychopath shit doesn't mean you should. Just have a lock. But wow, this is fucked up. How far could he possibly take this? And there's the guy, Cho. Oh my god! Nobody knows how to deal with it. They're all like, what's happening? Like, they can't even register that this is, like, a thing that's happening. And then for the thing to come over and just be like, it presents the cutesy face, and like, you seem to be experiencing an excessive amount of stress. Because it can't recognize him. It can't tell that he's a problem. So it's just focusing on her and the stress that she's feeling. That was fucked. That was awful. Wow. I feel unclean. That was so harsh. And he's just like slowly pounding her to death with this hammer. That poor lady. That was like, it's not even just like the of what's happening, of her being slowly killed. Just everybody listening, watching around, and then the system being totally ill prepared was so dark. That was so brutal. God, that was rough. That was hard to watch. Yeah. Nobody knows how to react. They aren't prepared. They don't even understand that, like, whereas most people would either now try to help or run or call the cops, they're just like, decisions? I don't have those. Yeah, that was. He's gonna. I don't know how many of these helmets he has, but he is showing. He is trying to spread the word of the flaws of the. Oh, well, look at this. He's got several. He's got at least a couple. He's trying to show people the flaws of this system. He's really spreading it around. He's getting caught on video. Area stress levels go up. No, that's nothing serious. What does it take to be serious? Oh, we're gonna get to it? Okay, I can't wait. Yeah. That is allowed, that can possibly happen is so fucked. Pretty much. Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, that's just so foreign to them that they couldn't even understand what was happening. And it's not their fault. That's how they were brought up and raised in this system. It's how they were made to think. Yep. That is so. Look at that image. That is horrible. Yeah. So there is a small bit of fluctuation, but not any that matters. It's still really low. Okay. So is the helmet like reading the psychopaths of like people around it and taking instead of it seems like something like that. Instead of reading theirs, it's taking in the stress level around it from other people. Yeah, 30 meters around it. If there's anybody with a clear hue, it's gonna, what does it pick up, like the lowest one nearby? So yeah, specifically it's picking up on the clear psychopasses of other people nearby, which just shows the flaws of the system even further. If there's anybody nearby with a good psychopath, having a good psychopath is what is allowing these people to commit the crimes. It's going total, like the system's totally backfiring. Fuck, this is cool. This is so good. Like this is horrible what's happening, like with that woman and these people being killed, and Makishima's a terrible person. But also, it's really cool. Just like he's doing such a good job of showing the problems with the system. So when he says that it's gonna get serious, I'm like, oh my, I can't wait to see what he does. because this world is so interesting and all of its flaws and all the ways that you can show those flaws. It's just really cool and really well thought out. And I'm on his side in acknowledging the flaws and trying to get people to realize it. Just not about the ways he's going about it. Just killing people on the street. Kogami's so smart. Maybe she wasn't random. Who was that? That like an ex-boyfriend or something? Yeah. Like, he was horrible to her. Seemed like a passion type thing. Had a reason to be that horrible to her. So, through her, we can maybe find who this guy was. Someone who hadn't been scanned. Because, of course, his psychopath would actually be really high, so he's been avoiding scanners. Alright. I'd say he looks like the guy. Just the look of him. We might have our culprit. Whoa, yeah, look at this place. Been holed up inside. Yeah, holy shit. Why? What the fuck did she do to you, dude? Oh my god. This guy's entire life was based around killing this woman. What are you gonna do now that you did it? What do you have to live for now? Wow. Whoa, there he is. Yep, you can't do anything. And inspect, yeah, it registered one of theirs, I guess Akane's. Yeah. Yep, it just took hers. Not just her psychopath, but her identity. It said that he was an inspector. So yeah, instead of getting help, getting any therapy or anything like that, because the system is the way that it is, it made him fearful to even go outside, which just made everything worse and eventually led to him committing the crime that you were scared that he would commit in the first place. How many of these helmets? There can't be like too many, but I don't know. I don't know how long they take to make. How many more can they make? How quickly? So far, there's probably not a ton, but I don't know. Could get a lot in the future. Yeah, you stay away. Because can we just get it so that everybody near him has a higher psychopath so that we can at least paralyze him? So Akane has to stay away. Isolate him. Are we good? He's trapped. Point it. Yep, there you go. Sorry, buddy. And oh, he's an enforcer, is he? Bye, buddy. Nice. Nice work. Yeah, that was pretty high. That was almost up into the lethal range. He was pissed off. But yeah, it basically thought he was Kogami, so that's got to be a little weird. But he's like, I didn't tell it to kill me, so it's fine. Pretty much. You guys think you're gonna fucking fight Makishima here? Steal from him? Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Because you're all about to die right now. Holy shit. He's a badass. I guess I shouldn't be surprised. Well, that was easy. Oh, damn. Oh, God. Of course he... Ah! Of course he would train himself physically, too. Oh, look at that. How many do we have in there? Well, shit. Fuck, that is an awesome plot development. I cannot wait to see where that goes. That is such a good idea. Oh, man. So, let's talk about that one. Alright, episode 14 introduces this helmet of Makishima's, which I absolutely love so far. I wouldn't have expected something like that and the story to go in that direction, but I think that is a genius idea to include something like that in the story. That is such a good idea, and I can't wait to see what more is done with it. And I didn't realize it at the time at all, but I have now found out after the fact, after watching the episode, that helmet was in episode 1, and we'll talk about that. But yeah, just the idea of this thing, this helmet that lets you bypass a scan, essentially, and not just by blocking it or something like that. That wouldn't work. They would be alerted to that if somebody was just blocking it and not just making some fake psychopath somehow. It reads the psychopaths of people around them within a certain radius. I think they said 30 meters or something like that. And it seems like the lowest one is what gets read. And so they can just bypass it. And that is such a good idea for Makishima to show his point to the public and from the show writers for this story. But yeah, that was actually in the beginning of episode 1. I totally forgot about that. I just remembered Kogami confronting Makishima, but there was another random guy who he kicked out of the window and then blew up, and that guy was wearing one of these masks. It was more colorful, but it was the same kind of mask. Maybe it's either they just painted it different or it's an advanced version, but either way, presumably it does the same or a similar thing. And that actually raises some questions about that scene from the beginning of episode 1, because he blew that guy up with the Dominator. Now, he only did that after kicking him out the window when he's falling, so it's possible that at that point he was already far enough away from Kogami to where it wouldn't be reading the psychopaths of anybody else around him, and it would just have to be his own. Because I guess that would be how it works. If there's nobody around, then it wouldn't do anything, and the person's own psychopath would probably be read, I would think. But in that scene, it doesn't look like he's far enough away for that. It looks like he's still close enough to where it would read Kogami's. And because the man exploded, that means, if it was copying Kogami's psychopaths, that his was high enough for lethal elimination, which would make sense. In this episode, it got up to like 282. because of this confrontation and him wanting to take this guy out. So being in that situation with Makishima right there, it could definitely get up above 300, and it probably will. So we're heading for that, I'd say, at some point, of Kogami's being high enough to face lethal elimination. So that's really cool, thinking back on that scene. But yeah, this helmet is such a brilliant idea, and it shows so well the flaws of this system. Other things have done that as well, but this is such a good idea. And it's so fucked up and scary. The way this man can just walk in there. I was saying during the reaction, just lock the door. But it just shows you how much this system has affected people and the way they think and the way that they behave. Because I'm thinking about it from this logical point of view. Yeah, even if you can do this, if you can make it so the door only opens to somebody who has a clear hue, and all logic would dictate that in that circumstance, there would be no danger. Because if they have a clear hue, they're not going to do anything bad. That's how the system works, so we're good. Even if that is the case, just lock the door. Just have it the way that we have it now, where, people can't just go into places that they're not allowed in a workspace, People have, identification that opens doors, or their thumbprints or something like that, where the employees are the only ones who can be back there, because while, yes, some random guy that has a clear hue going back there isn't going to cause problems, there's no reason to allow some random guy to go back there. I guess it's just if there is a really nice random guy and he just really needs some drugs, some medication right now for an above ground moral good reason, well, he can go back there and ask for them, and it's all nice and good because they have clear hues. But they just don't take these precautions because they're so reliant on how the system is. And so that was fucked up. It is the Joker pencil trick, but with scissors in the mouth. And then the scene in the street was so brutal. That was incredibly fucked. Just the fact that it was happening is bad enough. Randomly assaulting this person in the street, who was probably completely innocent. We just know that they were colleagues. He was probably just a crazy weirdo. She probably did nothing wrong. Just assaulted her in the street. Slowly killing her with this hammer was so fucked and so hard to watch. And then it is so much darker because of the reactions of everybody else, which is to stand there and do nothing and or film it, because the system has ingrained them so much to not know how to react in a situation like this. It's completely foreign to them. The idea of something like this ever conceivably happening is not an idea that they've even conceptualized. It's never been put in their heads that something like this can happen and what they should do in this situation. People do not think for themselves as much anymore. Makishima says it perfectly, these sheep don't know how to respond to a predator, to danger. Instead of trying to help, trying to fight back, trying to run away, there's just nothing firing up there. They don't register what is happening because it's so foreign to them. They're like, wait, is this a crime? Is this really happening? What even is going on here? And then even if they get that far, when it comes to, okay, what do I do about it? They're just I don't know. I need to be told what to do. So for them to all just stand there while it happens is so horrible, and it's not their fault. They have been brought up that way. Their brain has been molded to be like that by society and by the system. And for the fucking robot to come over and put on the cutesy thing, the cutesy hologram, and to be like, oh, it seems your stress level is high. We recommend you seek therapy, you seek help. It doesn't recognize him at all because his hue is clear because of the helmet. So it can't tell that there's a crime happening. All it can tell is her. It can only tell that her psychopath is going up. And so it recommends that she seek some help, and then that's it. My God, that was horrendous. That was so hard to watch. That was like one of the most effective scenes in the show. That was like one of the most effective scenes I've ever seen in any show. God damn. And Kogami's so smart. Watching him think these things through and do this detective work and figuring out that his psychopath was going up at the same rate as another person's or as the area's or whatever, and figuring out how the helmet works, that's fantastic. And just the fact that, you know, this can happen is so messed up. And, you know, the area stress going up is the only reason anybody's even alerted that something bad happened. It really goes very far for Makishima in showing society what he's trying to convey here. And I don't know how many of these helmets he has or how many he will have later on in the show, but when he's talking about how the serious stuff hasn't started yet, I am way on board to see the serious stuff. He's really trying to show people and spread this message around and get them to understand how society has negatively affected them. And he's doing horrible stuff. I don't root for him in that regard when you see someone like that woman being killed like this. But he's such a good villain that, you know, I don't disagree with his message. And I think the way he's going about conveying it so far, while fucked up and not advisable, I can't say it's ineffective. We'll see how it goes by the end, but, you know, he's completely understandable in where he's coming from, and he's very entertaining, and we get to see him kick some ass, because of course he would train himself physically as well. There's no surprise there. And the bat, and oh man, and whatever they plan on doing, I can't wait to see it. Like, it's gonna be horrifying, but also just so good from a story perspective. Such a good villain, such a good idea with these helmets. I can't wait to see more. And the idea that they specifically copy the psychopaths of others around them, so that you have a scene like that at the end where Akane needs to stay away from him and they corner him in this warehouse to where it's just them together, and it even recognizes him as specifically Kogami, as an enforcer. It thinks it is him. Akane's got to stay away. The fact that it shows the flaws in the system to that high of a degree, to where the people who are meant to be like the best, the people with the clearest hues, the lowest coefficients, their numbers are the ones being read by this thing to allow people to get away with shit, that's just so perfect. There's a good scene with Akane holding a Dominator for the first time after the incident with Makishima. I'm glad that we got focus on something like that, because of course, having her faith shaken in the way that it works, and now picking it up again for the first time after that, she's gonna be a little apprehensive, but Kogami assures her, and now that problem immediately after that becoming more widespread, with more of these people who you're gonna point the Dominator at, and it's not gonna let you do it. He's on the ground, slowly murdering a woman with a hammer, and if you pointed the Dominator at him, you wouldn't be able to do anything. Of course, there are ways around it with what they did, but in general, damn, that's so good. This was such a fantastic episode. I can't wait to see how widespread this becomes and how much chaos it could possibly incite. I talked about that before, and so did they in the show, about people finding out about this and how much chaos that could cause if they find out that the system isn't as perfect as they thought, if they find out there's a way to deceive it, if there are people like this out there thinking like, oh yeah, people used to lock their front doors. like that's some story that most people don't even know about and seen as some weird thing. Like, did you know people locked their doors at one point? They didn't just automatically trust everyone around them. It's like, whoa, society's just shifted so much and people have such a different mindset. It's absolutely insane, and I think it's really cool. It's such a cool idea to explore. And I remember saying at the beginning of this series that one criticism that I had heard lobbied against it is that this system is unrealistic, that it would never happen. And regardless of if you want to talk about that, I couldn't possibly give a shit whether you think a system like this would ever arise. Who cares? You know? Like, does that matter? I don't believe the show is making any direct statements that this exact thing is going to happen. It's just a hypothetical story in a world where it did happen, and it's super interesting. It's a really cool idea, and there's a lot you can explore with it, and they're doing it really well. Like, there are a lot of shows that have really good concepts, a lot of potential, but then they don't explore their ideas well enough, and it's a letdown. This show has been exploring this idea in so many good ways. It wasn't just a random gimmick, like, let's have a crime show, but we've got this psychopath thing, but then it's just like a regular cop procedural with nothing unique about it. They've been utilizing this idea really well. They put a lot of thought into it in really small details and in the ways the story would play out that I really respect and really like. And, you know, if you try to limit the number of stories that you can tell to only ones that take place in worlds that could actually happen, that's really boring. Like, I want to be able to explore every possible idea that there is through various forms of art. So if you think of this crazy world with a system like this where you can explore all these ideas, then go for it. And yet, even though the way people behave in this world is so far removed from us, it's still relatable. Like, getting to that endpoint doesn't seem like it's going to happen, but a lot of the smaller things and the things that this show addresses are still relatable to our ways of life too. We're maybe not moving in that specific direction to the extent of the Sybil system, but in certain ways, there are things that this show has to say about our society too, through the lens of this just much more extreme version, which is just incredibly entertaining. And of course, the very existence of this system is what helped lead this man to be the way he was in the first place. Somebody who maybe, in another circumstance, might have gotten help of some kind, but fear of the system, fear of being scanned, kept him holed up in his home and just made things worse. So, just another example of a flaw in the system, and I can't wait to see where all of it goes. You've got that scene in episode 1. I can't wait to see when we get to that, because we have the scene here where he shoots the guy, and he's like, how do you feel about shooting somebody who had your psychopath? And he's like, whatever, it's not like it was lethal elimination, but it seems like that is going to happen later on, and Makishima is such a cool villain, so yeah, I'm excited. So let me know your thoughts on this episode and this plot development. We can talk about it more in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel. Check out the description down below for Patreon and all that stuff. Really appreciate it, and I will see you guys next time.